Hey, Chris Lipe here. In this video, we're going to discuss warming up, and I'm going to share with you my daily warm-up routine. In a previous video on this channel, I did a video on warming up right, and I discussed a lot of the things that I do when I warm up, and some of the things I don't do when I warm up, and the reasons why. Here's a link to that video if you want to check it out. And in that video, I briefly discuss why I don't think traditional scale warm-ups are really that beneficial. They certainly weren't beneficial for me when I was learning. And the reason is because we immediately box our voice in to doing certain things when it's not ready to do certain things. You know, da 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 da, and then we go all the way, up. We push through into the top part of our range, and we go all the way down. And the idea is, okay, let's warm up our whole range. But I find that all sorts of tensions start to creep in when we start putting parameters on our voice too early. So the way I like to warm up is by starting with no parameters and just getting used to how my voice feels for the day. And then I gradually ease into musical context, and by the end, I'm going all over the place. By the end of my warm-up, I'm going all over the place. But I've gotten there purely based on feel, relaxation, and introspection. So for the first time ever on YouTube, I have not warmed up my voice before making my video. Sometimes I warm up with a guitar, sometimes I don't, but my mindset and my methodology is the same. So you're going to get to see my full warm-up workout and hopefully learn from it. As we go through this, you're going to notice that there's a lot of things that I do that are based on fundamental singing technique. If you don't have your support dialed in, if you don't have a good handle on how to locate your different resonances, then this warm-up workout is probably going to inspire you to discover some of those things. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel and check out my free vocal course linked below to develop solid fundamentals in singing, as well as discover what your voice can really do. I usually start down from my head to my chest, and I do that because the head resonance is smoother. It's actually easier on your vocal cords when you're first getting warmed up. I spend probably more of my warm-up in my head resonance than I do my chest resonance. And that has this benefit of warming up my chest resonance in a more efficient way. Now, above anything else, as you're about to watch this, I want you to keep in mind a word: floppiness. I ease into what I do with my voice very carefully, strategically, and in a way that's very floppy. I don't go right into being super controlled, super accurate. The only thing I'm intentional about is that I'm very relaxed, that I'm very conscious of what my body's doing. Am I doing this? Am I tensing something? Am I doing something that is getting in the way of me listening to how my voice feels? And I had some musical context. This is a C drone. This is so important when warming up, and if you don't do this, you just harbor a bunch of tension and you take it into the other stuff that you're doing. So keep in mind floppiness. You're going to hear all sorts of things that don't sound good, especially not right away. But if you listen from the vantage point that I am rediscovering my voice every day to an extent, then the way you perceive my sound is going to help you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. You're going to notice towards the end of the video, I do get more controlled and intentional sounding with my actual singing and sound. But that's really not the point. When we're all warmed up, then we can be really controlled in what we do. Start in the head, ground in the chest. You'll notice your chest starts to feel more and more full, chest resonance that is. So keep that in mind. The goal is to warm up our voice, warm up our muscles, and develop a solid frame of mind to be relaxed and provide an environment to let our voice happen, not make our voice happen. That's what warming up is all about. I see ascending phrase that goes from head resonance to chest resonance. And I'm just going to sing that. And this is where the floppiness comes in, because over the course of the warm-up, I'm going to become more and more engaged in making things sound right. But right now, I'm really just trying to be sensitive to, as I give my voice bite-sized little bits of more power, I'm being intensely introspective onto how my physical body and how my voice takes it. Usually I just make up a phrase. I feel the wind. I feel the wind. I feel the wind blow, blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind. Getting re-familiar with my break every day is really important to me, because I might use it differently depending on how my overall voice is feeling. I feel the wind, pushing a little bit more in chest. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind, the wind, the wind, the wind, the wind. And notice I'm not pushing high at all. I'm maintaining pure head resonance. I stay here for a long time before I start to warm up my mix. And you'll see that process too. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. Start adding more dynamics and more push in pure chest. Don't try to mix yet. Oh, blow. I feel the wind blow. Yeah, that breaking is good. If it hurts, you're doing something wrong. But that breaking, embrace it, especially during a warm-up. I feel that run is. It's okay. Make it not accurate, because we don't want any tension at all. And I'm just using my ear. Nobody gave me a guide for that. I'm just singing what I feel like that will help me relax and use my voice at the same time. larynx position, raise soft palate, let that air come through. I feel the wind blow. Yeah, I feel the wind blow. I'm feeling better, feeling like I have a deeper sensation in my chest, which means I'm starting to get warmed up, even though I've spent a lot of time in my head resonance. Now, my very low range is going to fry out. Here's where I intentionally embrace some fry. Lower chest. Engaging fry, especially in my lower resonance without a whole lot of push, I'm engaging muscles that I don't use necessarily for speech, unless I'm talking like this. But I am warming up the mechanism that allows me to use compression in the right way, that allows me to be more aggressive, because it's that tissue that sits directly above your voice box that is, when engaged right, going to help you sing more aggressively and more powerfully. When engaged wrong, you're just introducing a bunch of stupid tension. So, now I'm ready to ease into warming up my mix. And this is where I throw accuracy completely out the window. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. Also, I'll turn on a drum loop. Yeah. I have zero tension. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel as you start getting warmer, you start having more control over useful fry. I feel the wind blow. It's all about letting it happen. I feel the wind blow. I am breaking up, there is no tension. I'm breaking up because I'm not trying to control it, and I'm just letting my voice do stuff, but it doesn't hurt at all. That's that exposing and exploiting your break that I've talked about in other videos. Now that I'm pretty much warmed up, I'm going to start adding a bit of non-tension filled control into some of the things that I'm doing. Water's always handy. Yeah, I feel the wind blow. Oh, yeah. I feel the wind blow. Oh, oh. Yeah, So now I'm good and warmed up. My voice feels nice and full and rich, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start singing for real. The only thing that's remotely sore or maybe feels slightly overworked on my entire body, the only thing is my abdominal muscles. Everything else feels perfectly loose, perfectly tension-free. And that is my definition of a good warm-up. When I can start screaming like that, and I feel no tension sensations whatsoever in this part of my body, and I'm able to get that volume and that intensity. Now, also, those screams, those loud sounds, they were floppy. There were voice cracks. They weren't always on pitch. They were repetitive and experimental and weird sounding. There were some interesting things in there that may have passed here and there. But I'm warming up. I am rediscovering what my voice does every day and finding new things in the process. This is how, give or take, like I said, sometimes I'm playing with a guitar. Sometimes I just put on a drone. Sometimes I just put on a drum beat. Sometimes I walk around the house and don't do it with any musical context at all. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been beneficial. Again, be sure to join my free vocal course linked below if you want to take your voice to the next level. I cover in that course many ways to become more uninhibited, to allow yourself to experience warm-ups and performance like I just demonstrated. We'll see you for more.